Welcome to Fluent with AI, where real conversations are combined with intelligent English practice. Let's speak better and smarter with AI.
Hey everyone. Welcome back to Fluent with AI. I'm your host, and today I'm going to share some, incredibly embarrassing but absolutely hilarious stories with you. You know what? When I first started practicing English with AI, I thought it would be easy. After all, AI is super smart, right? Well, turns out I made a bunch of mistakes that literally made me question my existence. Today I'm sharing my top 10 most cringeworthy moments while interacting with AI. Trust me, after watching this video, you'll feel so much better about your own English skills. I remember one time, I wanted to tell the AI that I was learning to cook, but I made a typo and wrote, "I'm cooking for you," instead of, "I'm looking for cooking tips." The AI immediately replied, "Oh wow. What are you cooking for me? I'm so excited." I was like, "Wait, you're an AI. You can't even eat." Then I realized my mistake. But what made it worse? The AI spent the next 5 minutes describing in detail all the dishes it would love to try. Lesson learned: always double check your typing, or you might end up feeding an AI that doesn't eat. When I first started learning English, I thought using multiple s would show strong emotions. So I would say things like, "I am very, 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 very happy. This is very, 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 very difficult. You are very, 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 very helpful." The AI finally couldn't take it anymore and replied, "I appreciate your enthusiasm, but maybe we can find some other ways to express intensity." Then it gave me a huge list of synonyms: extremely, incredibly, tremendously, exceptionally. That's when I realized I sounded like a broken record. Now I know, English has so many ways to say very, you don't need to repeat it until people question your vocabulary. One day the AI told me, "Break a leg with your presentation." I freaked out. I replied, "What? Why do you want me to break my leg? That's terrible advice." The AI explained it meant good luck, and I had my lightbulb moment. But then for the next few days, I became an idiom collecting maniac. It's raining cats and dogs. I asked the AI why pets were falling from the sky. Piece of cake. I wondered why everything easy was related to dessert. Hit the books. I asked why we needed to violence against innocent books. The AI finally said, "Maybe we should have a special lesson about idioms." I was like, "Yes, please. I don't want to get lost in idiom land anymore." I once wrote this masterpiece of a sentence: "Yesterday, I will go to store and I have bought some foods." I mixed past, future, and present perfect tense all in one sentence. The AI replied, "I'm a bit confused about the timeline here. Are you a time traveler?" This made me realize how important English tenses are. My brain was thinking, yesterday, past, plus planning, future, plus already done, perfect, equals perfect sentence. The result? I created a time-traveling grammar disaster. Now I've learned, one sentence, one timeline. Simple but effective. In the beginning, I always wanted to sound super professional, so I would say things like, "I would be most grateful if you could provide me with the weather information for today's atmospheric conditions." Just to ask about the weather, the AI replied, "You can just ask, what's the weather like today? You know?" I also remember asking for directions to the bathroom by saying, "Could you please direct me to the facilities for personal hygiene purposes?" The AI was like, "You mean, the bathroom?" I learned, sometimes simple is beautiful. You don't need to sound like you're writing a formal document unless you actually are. This one was really embarrassing. I often directly translated Chinese expressions into English. I said, "I eat medicine," trying to express taking medication. The AI asked, "You eat medicine? Like, chew it?" The correct way is, "Take medicine," I said. "Open the light," trying to say turn on the light. The AI said, "Lights don't open, they turn on." I said, "My English is not good enough," trying to be humble. The AI said, "Your English is actually pretty good. Don't be so hard on yourself." That's when I realized every language has its own logic. You can't just copy-paste thinking patterns from one language to another. It's like wearing the wrong shoes. You might be able to walk, but it definitely won't be comfortable. I have many homeworks to do. Can you give me some advices? I bought 3 breads at the store. Every time, the AI would patiently correct me, "Homework is uncountable, advice doesn't have a plural form, you bought 3 loaves of bread." My feelings were like, why is English so complicated? Why can some words add s and others can't? Who decided these rules anyway? But gradually, I started understanding the logic behind these rules. Now I know, practice is key, and, sometimes, you just have to accept that English doesn't always make sense. For a while, I became too dependent on translation software. I would translate entire Chinese sentences into English and send them directly to the AI. The result was some very weird sentences like, "The weather today possesses a particularly pleasant characteristic." I just wanted to say the weather is nice today. The AI replied, "Are you using a translator?" This sounds very mechanical. I was caught. What made it more embarrassing was that the AI started giving me advice on how to express things more naturally. I learned translation apps are tools, not crutches. The best way to learn is still trying to express yourself in your own words, even if it's not perfect. Even though we were text chatting, I still wanted to practice pronunciation. So I started using phonetics to explain my pronunciation problems. To the AI. I wrote, I pronounce beach like bitch. The AI immediately said, oh, that's a very important distinction to get right. Then I realized I had just written a rather inappropriate word in our chat. Even though I was explaining a pronunciation issue, it still made me blush. The AI professionally gave me pronunciation tips, but I learned, some words need to be used carefully, even in a learning context. The last mistake, and probably the biggest. 1. I always wanted to speak perfectly. I would spend 10 minutes writing one sentence, checking grammar, spelling, punctuation, and the conversation became completely unnatural. The AI finally said, you know, making mistakes is part of learning. Don't worry about being perfect. That sentence was my wake-up call. I started accepting mistakes and seeing them as learning opportunities rather than proof of failure. Now my English still isn't perfect, but I dare to express myself, I dare to make mistakes, and I dare to learn from those mistakes. So those were my top 10 most hilarious moments while learning English with AI. Remember, everyone who learns English makes these mistakes. The important thing is to have a sense of humor, learn from your mistakes, and most importantly, keep practicing. If you've had similar experiences, please share them in the comments. Let's laugh together and improve together. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more English learning content. See you next time, and remember, mistakes are just proof that you're trying.